Boxing, a very famous and loved sport worldwide. But people seem to think like this was made yesterday. What I mean is that people assume it's only in the last 100 years that this sport came to existence. In which you're absolutely wrong. Actually, boxing's roots can be traced back to ancient civilizations.
You what?
Evidence of fist fighting contests date back to Sumerian reliefs 3000 BC and Egyptian hieroglyphs 2000 BC. Even in ancient Greece, where boxing, known as pygmakia, it was included in the Olympic Games as early as 688 BC. It was a brutal sport with minimal rules, and fighters used leather thongs wrapped around their fists for protection. Their style is straightforward punches without much regard for defense. Fighters focused on delivering powerful, often wild blows. And obviously, if the Greeks did it, the Romans perfected it.
It's facts! It's facts! It's not facts, it's facts.
They called it pugilatus. It became a popular form of entertainment in gladiatorial contests. The Roman form was even more violent, often ending in serious injury or death.
Hey yo, what the f?
Also, boxing at the time had zero stance and movement. The fighters would just stand flat-footed and exchange heavy blows. After the fall of the Roman Empire, boxing largely disappeared from Europe, but survived in some forms through folk traditions and localized practices. During the Renaissance, particularly in 17th century England, boxing re-emerged as a popular sport, known as bare-knuckle boxing. It involved no gloves and had few rules, leading to frequent injuries. And they'd basically emphasize endurance and toughness. Fighters used more grappling and wrestling techniques. Punches were often aimed at the body to weaken the opponent gradually. Their defense consisted of slipping, parrying, and blocking. Fighters developed rudimentary forms of clinching to avoid punches and tire out opponents. They'd stand in an upright stance with their hands low, ready to parry and counterpunch. Footwork was more static, and bouts often took place in a smaller ring, limiting movement. In the 18th century, boxing became more organized. James Figg, known as the father of modern boxing, opened an academy in England in 1719. His student, Jack Broughton, made Broughton's rules in 1743, which included safety measures like not hitting a downed opponent.
What? No, dude!
In 1838, new rules improved boxing by introducing a 24-foot ring and ending rounds when a fighter was knocked down. The biggest change came in 1867 with the Marquess of Queensberry rules, which required gloves, set 3-minute rounds, and used a 10-second count for knockdowns. This made boxing safer and more regulated. It's in this era where the jabs, crosses, hooks, and uppercuts are born. The early 900s saw boxing grow in popularity worldwide, particularly in the United States. Fighters like Jack Johnson, Jack Dempsey, and Gene Tunney became household names. Boxing became more organized with the establishment of weight classes and governing bodies like the National Boxing Association, NBA. Not that one.
No.
In 1921, later known as the World Boxing Association, WBA. Okay, this one almost sounded like the WNBA.
Nigga, you ain't funny.
The advent of television in the 1950s brought boxing to wider audience. Iconic fighters like Rocky Marciano, Sugar Ray Robinson, and Muhammad Ali emerged, making boxing a global spectacle.